So I told you long ago that Japan used to view the UK as the gateway to Europe. And this is how Britain used to market itself when it was in the European Union. That you could come to us and then you could sell your products into the European Union through us. This is how we made a lot of our access, because we used to sell off our access. We can't do that anymore because, well, we're not going to have the access. So, this comes from Bloomberg. Japan waves goodbye to UK as gateway to Europe post-Brexit. After a February meeting between the UK Prime Minister Theresa May and 19 Japanese business chiefs, the Tokyo's ambassador to Britain warned what might happen if Brexit took an unfortunate turn for foreign investors. No private company can continue operations in the UK if it becomes unprofitable. Koji Tsukura, I think that's how you say it, told reporters on the steps of May's Downing Street residence after the Premier pledged to pursue frictionless trade with the European Union. It is as simple as that. 8 months later, as the risk of a no-deal Brexit looms larger and nearer, Japanese companies aren't waiting around to find out whether May can deliver. Instead, a growing number of them are heeding Tokisura's warning, shifting operations out of the UK or threatening to scale back if the country crashes out of the EU without a deal. May provided little in the way of reassurance on Wednesday at the Conservative Party conference, saying that Britain isn't afraid to leave with a no deal if we have to. Toyota Motor Corp said on Saturday that it might have to temporarily halt output at its plant in Derby in the event of a so-called hard Brexit. The electronics maker, Panasonic, has moved its European headquarters from near London to Amsterdam, while the Japanese retailer Moju, I think that's how you say it, produces its Look, hang on. Sorry, my tablet went crazy there. So, where were we? European investors. Yep. So from London to Amsterdam, while the Japanese retailer Moju Products is mulling a similar relocation to Germany. Other companies, like the robot maker Yakuza Electronic Corp, are choosing continental sites for new operations in order to stay close to European customers if Brexit creates trade hurdles. A lot of Japanese companies, manufacturing companies in particular, have invested in this country as a gateway to Europe. Shinji Ikeda, I think is how I say it, Minister for Public Development and Media for the Japanese Embassy in London, said in an interview, a no-deal Brexit in March next year will be nothing short of a cliff edge for our businesses. The stakes are high for both countries because of their close economic ties. The UK is Japan's second biggest investment destination after the US, with 135 billion confirmed as of 2017 according to the Japan External Trade Organization. The Asian nation is the biggest investor in Britain aside from the US and a handful of European neighbours. About 1,000 Japanese companies operate in the UK, employing roughly 160,000 workers. Many of these firms came to Britain in the 1980s as Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher promoted the country as a point of access to Europe. That history has not been forgotten. A 15-page letter issued by the Japanese government to the UK in September 2016, 3 months after the referendum, said Tokyo trusts that the UK will give due consideration in the context in which Japanese businesses have invested in Britain. Now here's the thing. After that, Japan has done a trade deal with the EU. They don't need to be in the UK anymore. So what's going to happen is they're just going to move. and what was it? 160,000 workers. That is no small number. That is a massive number. So, and by the way, there's going to be no replication of a deal with Japan. So don't think there's going to be a miraculous trade deal, or that it's going to be anywhere near as good as the trade deal that we currently have with them now, being members of the EU. So Japanese business officials, blunt talk is unusual for a corporate culture where confrontation is frowned upon, and contrasts with many UK's firms' own reluctance to speak out about Brexit. A December survey by Jetro found that 47% of Japanese affiliated companies in Europe thought leaving the EU would have a negative impact on them. Their main concerns were a UK economic slump and exporting from the UK to the bloc. Now, some of them are sizing up new sites in Europe. Japanese banks such as Nomura Holdings, Daiwa Securities Group and Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group have all opened European hubs in Germany. Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group has chosen the Netherlands as a base for its investment banking business in Europe. Meanwhile, Mitsubishi Financial Group is bolstering its operations in both Germany and the Netherlands. There are lots of choices, said Hitokuri Nakashima, chairman of the Japanese business lobby Calderon and manufacturer Hitachi, at a press conference last week, where he warned that the very serious impact from a no-deal Brexit is not an easy answer. Hitachi moved the global headquarters of its rail business to London from Tokyo about 4 years ago, and opened a giant new factory in Newton Attercliffe in England in 2015. So that's another site that will probably go, or just be scaled back. The nod to Japan's importance to the UK economy. In a nod to Japan's importance to the UK economy, May visited the country in August 2017, 2 months after her election, where a delegation of business leaders discussed trade and investment opportunities. At a Tokyo press conference, she praised the commitment from Japanese companies to a long-term presence in the UK, name-checking Nissan, SoftBank, and Group Corp and Toyota, all of who have said that, yeah, we're going to up and leave. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt went a step further during an official visit to Tokyo last month, delivering a speech in Japanese. So SoftBank brought the UKIP chip designer AMR Holdings for £24.3 billion about a month after the June 2016 vote, with assurances by May's government to Nissan later that year, spurred the automaker to invest in new models at its plant in Sunderland. 2 years on, the government promises to the car maker have still not been disclosed and delivered upon, and IDA doesn't know what was pledged. The UK government may hope its close relationship with Japan over the last 4 decades will at least help when it comes to negotiating a post-Brexit trade deal. The fact that Britain was a key player in the creation of an EU-Japan agreement, signed in July after nearly 5 years, may count in its favour. We don't think that after Brexit the competitiveness and the characteristics of the UK will soon disappear, said Tatsu Miyazaki, the Deputy Director General of Jetro in London, because the country's economic attributes would be difficult to replicate elsewhere, he added, but I cannot say that there will be no impact. So all those Japanese companies gone. That's 160,000 jobs put at risk because of Brexit. I don't think I need to say any more than that.